welcome to the evaluation of the film The Woods by Sam Cooley. Okay, question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Okay, starting with the website. As you can see on your screen, there's the red distress bar at the top where the title is and at the bottom where the buttons are. I've done this because I saw on the 30 Days of Night website, there's like a distress bar screenshots from the film, and I thought that'd be a good way to show how a film, because it's distressed and a bit edgy. I also made these bars red because it's a representation of blood, something associated with horror films. If you look closely, you'll notice that the buttons on my website are very similar to ones off the Unborn website. This mostly because looking at websites, the Unborn website was the only one I found that wasn't advertising the film on DVD. And I also did this because I thought that's what audiences who like horror films would expect, from their website. I've decided to post icons from the 3 popular social networking sites, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, because I think I've seen this a lot in other websites, not just film websites, where they have their own social networking group page, and it's a good way to advertise the film or a product because you got a lot of teenagers using social networking sites, and so they can join that page, and then their friends will see they've joined that page and want to find out what it's about. These also help to advertise my products or other products because you can do things like competitions, you can put screenshots on, and it reaches your audiences who don't always look for the film website, and most people just go for the social networking site group. I decided to use these 3 social networking sites because they're the main ones that use. They have over 675 million users between the 3 of them. So this would obviously help me advertise my film to a wide variety of countries, creating excitement before it's released in that country. When designing my poster, I was heavily influenced by the Blair Witch Project poster, mostly because even though it's simple, it's very effective, as it looks like it's from a negative film tying in with the narrative of the story. So for mine, I took a shot of like a dark wooded area with like a black space in between that looks so I could put my title and tagline in. But on discussion with my teacher, we decided that this didn't show much narrative. So looking through the images I've taken for this project, I found a picture of a man that was slightly distorted. So I distorted that more using Photoshop. And then we put it in and decided it got the enigma from Bath vs. Sturvey, and it adds a bit of narrative to my poster. I think I was heavily influenced to use a distorted ghost-like image of a man from looking at the Unborn poster again, because in that one there's a ghostly image of a child, and it's again adds to the enigma, and it's very scary. I think the 2 fonts used to do my title and also for the 30 Days of Night poster's title are very similar, and I did this subconsciously but I think that they both add like representation because they're very messy, so it represents like death and getting stabbed, which is what my film's about. Both the fonts also used the colour red, which is again a representation of danger and blood. For the trailer, I put at the beginning a sort of prologue, which is also found in the Blair Witch Project trailer, which I was heavily influenced by. So I think it adds a bit of realism into my trailer because it could have happened, the 3 teens could have been murdered, but no one knows. I used this shot of the MPAA approval green screen on my website. So I know it's conventional, and also it's what people need to see to know it's a real trailer and to know it's been approved and it's not just. I got the inspiration to a final scare for my trailer, not just from the Unborn trailer, but also from other trailers that are horror, such as Scary Movie 4. There's the masked killer that comes flying out the screen, and I thought this would be a good way to get good things using my trailer because it lets the audience know that this film isn't just another cheesy horror slasher film. It will scare them, and I think that will intrigue them because there's not many films out there that are truly scary anymore. Question 2. How effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary text? I think that all my products have combined effectively because they show uniformity. This is shown through use of the red distress box that I put behind my title in my trailer, my poster, and my website. Also, my poster and website both have the same distorted image of a man, which shows the connection. So when people go on my website, they can make the connection from seeing the poster, or vice versa. My website and trailer are both connected because I use the idea of a knife stabbing, but I think the knife isn't so clear in my trailer because it's not seen clearly, but the stabbing motion at the end connects it with the website. Question 3. What have you learned from your audience feedback? Okay, I posted my work on Facebook and Flickr so that people could comment on my work. I posted it on these sites because they get a lot of views each day, and because I use them regularly, so I'll be able to check them regularly. I've not had anything back off Flickr yet, but I've had a lot of feedback off Facebook. For my trailer, I've been told that some of the shots are very dark, which makes it very difficult to see, but I think these work well for my trailer because it's a horror film, it's a very dark film. I've also been recommended from the trailer to add a bit more blood and screaming, but again, this is a very complicated thing to do, and at the time I had the feedback, there wasn't enough time to do this. For my poster, I've had 2 people leave feedback for me. I've been told that the tagline, "You're sure for a big surprise," sounds a bit corny, but I think most taglines are corny. They also told me the background image of the distorted man is a bit harsh on the eyes, which I think might need changing because if people are struggling to see it, or if it's damaging people's eyes, it could be a problem. However, I think this man also works well because it adds the enigma to my poster. I've also been told that the billing card at the bottom looks a bit squashed together, so I'm going to change this so it looks a bit more neat. The billing card looks a bit more neat. I've also had one person like it on Facebook, which I assume means that they like it. Again, on my website, I've had 2 comments. One, the person who also commented about the man on the poster said the same thing, again with the distorted image, but other than that, it's very good. I've also been told that the fonts aren't scary enough, but I'm not sure what I can do about this, because I don't think fonts are meant to be scary. I've also been told that it is a direct quote here, badass, and one of the best websites yet. This is from someone in my media class. Question 3. How did you use new media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? When I was constructing my poster, I primarily used Photoshop to create all the layers. The bit I'm particularly proud of on my poster is the distorted man, as it adds enigma. I created this image by duplicating the layer of the original image which was already a bit distorted because I took the photo when it was quite dark, but I didn't use flash, so there was a bit of camera shake there. I then duplicated that layout of that image and added a high pass filter to it, because usually you can use a high pass filter to put more detail into the picture. I then added a hard light blending option, but I accidentally moved the image to my poster when one of my friends nudged me a bit. I realised that it looked good on the poster, so I thought I'd keep it, because it's got the ghostly effect and it's more suitable for a horror film if it's a bit ghost-like than a solid man. When I was taking all my pictures, I used a Nikon D60 digital SLR camera instead of a standard compact camera. I used the SLR camera because it takes larger images, so when on Photoshop I can compress them down or stretch them out and they won't lose detail. To get the blood effect on this knife, I put the knife into a jar of beetroot, and then once I've taken the picture and uploaded it onto Photoshop, I used the hue saturation tool to change the colour of the beetroot to give it a deeper red colour, which I think works very well because, again, red is a representation of danger and death. I used the same image of the man from my poster for the reflection on the knife, so the same effects we used to get the ghost image in. When I was out filming, I used a memo app on my Nokia 5800 instead of taking sheets of paper out to make this. I used this instead of writing it on a piece of paper because I knew I wouldn't lose it, and also because it's on my phone, which is something I've always got with me. If I was out anywhere and I had a sudden brainwave of an idea, I would write it down on my phone instead of trying to remember it until I had a bit of piece of paper and pen. Okay, that's all, folks. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed my final products. Goodbye.